Do you remember that feeling? Driving alone at 2 in the morning, music playing, eyes getting heavy, and then suddenly the whole car jolts, shaking and rumbling, your heart pounds, and you sit straight up without even thinking about it. Most of us have been there at least once. And most of us just glanced at the road, let out a slow breath, and kept driving like nothing happened. Nobody stops to think that what just saved them might have been nothing more than a few small grooves cut into the asphalt. But here's something most people never know. At 55 miles per hour, just 4 to 5 seconds of closing your eyes even accidentally sends your car traveling over 100 yards with absolutely nobody in control. That's an entire football field. No brakes, no steering, nothing. Just a 2-ton piece of metal flying through this dark. And those little grooves in the road, the ones you've rolled over thousands of times without ever giving a second thought, are exactly what stands between you and that scenario. Today we're talking about rumble strips. But I promise you, this isn't a lesson in highway engineering. This is the story of an invention so simple, it almost sounds dumb, but one that has a stranger history than you'd expect, numbers that will make your jaw drop, and at least one detail I guarantee you'll be telling someone about before the end of today. Welcome to Mysteries of Simple Things, the channel where everyday secrets are uncovered and explained. The story starts in 1952 on the Garden State Parkway in New Jersey, and it starts because people were dying. In the early 50s, America was head over heels in love with the car. Brand new roads, perfectly straight, stretching out as far as the eye could see. It was the era of freedom of road trips, of hitting the gas and letting the wind blow through a rolled-down window. But those same long, straight, monotonous highways were putting drivers to sleep. And back then, there was nothing on those roads to warn you before it was too late. Highway engineers at the time didn't have sophisticated technology. No sensors, no AI, no warning screens. What they had was concrete asphalt and one very simple question: how do you wake someone up without touching them? The answer they came up with was even simpler than the question. Cut grooves into the road. Let the tires do the talking. When a tire rolls over those grooves, air compresses and releases extremely fast between the rubber and the pavement, creating that unmistakable rumbling sound everyone recognizes instantly. That vibration travels in one continuous chain from the road surface up through the tire, up the axle, through the suspension, into the steering wheel, into the driver's hands, straight to the brain. And the human brain, no matter how drowsy, reads that signal as a primitive survival instinct. No thinking required. The body just reacts. You're sitting up straight before you even understand what's happening. This isn't technology. This is physics being used to pull people back from the edge. And it works. Data from the state of New York shows that shoulder rumble strips reduce runoff road crashes by up to 79%. 79%. In rural 2-lane roads where 70% of all runoff road fatalities happen, centerline rumble strips cut head-on collisions by 38 to 50%. These numbers didn't come from a small study. This is data from the Federal Highway Administration collected over decades and millions of miles of road. Now here's the part that should make anyone who's ever complained about government spending stop and take notice. The cost to install 1 mile of rumble strips in Oregon runs between $700 and $900. In some states, it's a bit more, around $3,500 to $6,000 per mile. Compare that to a replacement airbag, which runs $200 to $700 for one car, protecting one person one time. 1 mile of rumble strips protects every car, every person, every night for decades. No electricity, no maintenance, no one operating it. If you're thinking, why aren't these everywhere? You're asking exactly the right question. And the answer to that question leads us to one of the strangest stories in American transportation history. In 2009, in St. Joseph County, Michigan, local officials started receiving complaints about shoulder rumble strips. Not from drivers. Not from nearby residents worried about noise. From the Amish community because the rumble strips were dangerous for their horse-drawn buggies. And the county responded by paving the grooves back over. A safety feature 70 years in the making, removed because of horses. Not a Tesla. Not a self-driving car. Horses. If you think that was the most unexpected twist, hang on just a little longer. Turns out rumble strips have another enemy nobody saw coming, and it's ironic enough to be almost funny. In winter, road salt spread to prevent ice builds up inside the rumble strip grooves. Those grooves become a natural salt lick that draws moose deer and elk out onto the road. Rumble strips designed to save people from colliding with animals are actually luring animals onto the road for cars to hit. Nobody designed this. Nobody wanted it to happen. That's just the way reality sometimes breaks through every perfectly calculated plan on paper. But if you think the rumble strip story is all warnings and crashes and grim statistics, you haven't heard this part yet. In Japan, on a stretch of highway leading up to Mount Fuji, engineers designed rumble strips with the spacing between grooves calculated precisely using mathematics. When a car drives at exactly the posted speed limit through that section, the tires generate sounds at specific frequencies, and those sounds come together to form the melody of a traditional Japanese folk song. The road is singing. Not speakers, not electronics. The road itself, the tires, your speed all working together to make music. Lancaster, California has a stretch like that too. So does South Korea. We've gone from small grooves cut into asphalt because people were falling asleep at the wheel to roads that sing folk songs to you when you're driving the right speed. If that's not the definition of simple genius, I honestly don't know what is. And the technology keeps evolving. The biggest complaint about traditional rumble strips was never about whether they work. It was the noise they send outside the car disturbing people living near the road. Engineers at Purdue University developed a new design called sinusoidal rumble strips, nicknamed mumble strips, featuring a smooth wave-shaped surface instead of sharp-edged grooves. The result outside noise drops by 5 to 11 decibels, while the vibration inside the car stays strong enough to wake a drowsy driver. Since 2021, Michigan has made this design the mandatory standard for all non-highway roads across the state. The road is learning to whisper instead of shout. And it's still saving lives that way. So the next time you're driving late at night, eyes getting heavy and the whole car suddenly vibrates under your hands, remember that what just happened isn't a bad road or a broken car. It's a decision made back in 1952 by a group of engineers who had nothing but asphalt and one simple question: how do we keep people alive through the night? They found the answer, and that answer is still whispering to you every time you drive every night on every mile of road, costing less than a living room couch and worth more than anyone can measure.